Hi, I'm Marna, and this is part 2 of dealing with anxiety. If you've watched part 1, you know that I've had my own struggles with anxiety for years, and getting to the point where I didn't need medication anymore was definitely an accomplishment for me. So I'm sharing the tips that I used. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying don't take medication. If you need it, take it. But use the time and the clarity granted to you by the medication to develop the techniques so that you won't need it as much in the future. So, the next 5 tips that I have for dealing with anxiety. Tip number 1 is one of the hardest. Learn how to manage your thoughts. This is something that you need to do when you're not having an anxious moment. This is something that you need to start working on when you're calm, when you are feeling safe and secure. Because there's 3 parts to this, and any one of them, if you're not in a place of feeling calm, could make your anxiety temporarily worse. If you've ever read any of Eckhart Tolle, he talks about becoming a conscious observer of your thoughts. And that's the first step. The way you become a conscious observer of your thoughts is you have to train yourself to take a mental step back. You have to recognize that the conscious you is not your thoughts. The conscious you is thinking your thoughts, but you are not limited by your thoughts. You are not controlled by your thoughts. You control your thoughts. They don't control you. Now, what difference does this make? If you've ever gone outside early in the morning and there's a spider web on your porch railing and the sun is hitting it just right and it's sparkled with dew and it looks so pretty, and you can stop and observe it and appreciate the beauty of it. Meanwhile, if you go out on your porch in the middle of the night and you step right into that spider web, you're going to freak out and start doing that funky ninja dance that we all do because we're covered in a spider web. That is the difference between observing your thought and being tangled up in it. So, you have to train yourself to not be tangled up in your thoughts. Once you do that, you can start seeing thought patterns coming towards you. And when you recognize a thought pattern that you know leads to anxious thinking, you can simply say, no, I refuse to get caught up in this. I refuse to go into this rabbit hole. I refuse to see where this leads. It takes practice. It takes work. It is not nearly as easy as it sounds. But by doing it for a little bit every day, you can build up to controlling that thought before it knocks you to your knees. And I'll do another video on exactly what's involved in becoming a conscious observer of your thoughts. So that's the first thing. Second thing, set trigger phrases for yourself to break your anxious cycles. One of the benefits of affirmations is when you use them regularly, they become ingrained in your body. And if you use them regularly in a certain frame of mind, then going back to them will force you back into that frame of mind. So if you are regularly looking at yourself in the mirror first thing in the morning and saying, today is a good day, in a neutral place, today is a good day, coming from a point of neutrality, coming from a point where you're not in an anxious state, then when you do start into that anxious state, you can take a breath and say, today is a good day. And it will force your brain into the pattern that it normally is in when you say that affirmation. Yeah, that's something that they don't tell you very often, is it? Sorry, my notes are blowing all over the place because I decided to come out and do this outside in December. The third way of managing your thoughts is training yourself to recognize the physical symptoms as being physical symptoms, not as being products of your anxious thoughts. So for many of us, one of the signs that you're having an anxiety attack is your heart rate goes through the roof, right? Your heart starts beating faster and faster and pounding straight out of your chest. So, if when you are in a non-anxious state, you put yourself in a situation that will elevate your heart rate, you can train your body to recognize an elevated heart rate as no longer being a danger signal. And this is as simple as getting on a treadmill and running for 20 minutes a day. Again, that goes back to the aerobic activity. If you do have some extra adrenaline or cortisol floating around in your system, this will get it out. But it also teaches your body to disassociate the elevated heart rate from the anxious state of mind. So the next time you do have an elevated heart rate, it becomes much easier to say, okay, it's just my heart beating fast. It is not something to worry about. You've trained your body to stop viewing it as a danger signal. I know, it takes work. Why can't this be easy? Why can't we have a little silver bullet that just fixes it? There are a few. One of those is music. What music do you listen to when you are in a calm and happy state? What music do you love to scream along to? What music moves you? What music makes you feel happy? When you feel an anxiety state coming on, listen to that music. Because again, you've already pre-wired your brain. When I'm hearing this song, I am in this state of mind. So use that. When you want to change your state of mind, put on the song that triggers the state of mind you wish to be in. For me, it's heavy metal, but that's just because it's me. It doesn't matter what the music is. What matters is your response to it. This is actually a form of the next tip, which is grounding. One of the reasons I come out here is because being around water on a subconscious level quiets the mind. And I'm just not around water. I'm in the middle of an abandoned quarry area. You can see the big boulder behind me there. So I am sitting on solid granite. I have water that I can look at to reach that subconscious part of my brain that needs to calm down. It is quiet. There are no other people out here with me. No one is making demands on me. I have set aside time when I can just relax. And I will come out here particularly, in the summer, this is so nice because the rocks are warm from the sun and you can just lay down and feel the earth turning beneath you and feel the sun beating on you and allow yourself to just be. However, that's not always practical. Not everyone has a quarry we can go to. Especially one where they're doing weed eating nearby. Oh well. Some of the other techniques that you can use for grounding. Imagine yourself sitting at the base of a tree. You can feel the solid comfort of the tree trunk behind you. And with a little bit of imagination, you can imagine the sap that flows in that tree trunk. Now, sap is a circulatory system. It goes up and down throughout the tree. It carries nutrients from the roots up to the leaves and energy from the leaves back down to the roots. So the entire organism works together to maintain its growth pattern. So imagine yourself in the flow of that sap and go all the way down into the roots and feel yourself going all the way out to the very smallest of the little rootlets in the deep dark earth. And feel all the things that make you feel anxious and all the things that you're having trouble coping with, and just push them out into that deep dark earth and leave them there. And when you feel lighter from letting go of this, then imagine yourself flowing with the sap back up through the trunk, back up to the very tippy top of the smallest leaves. Imagine yourself going out to the leaves and spreading out and feeling the warmth of the sun, filling up all of your energy centers, filling up all of the little voids left by getting rid of the darkness. And once you are full of light, go back down into the sap, back down to the trunk, to where your physical body is. And picture yourself back in your body, being you. Energized by the sun, having let go of the things that were causing your anxious behavior. It's a very simple grounding technique, and you can do it sitting in an office chair. I have many times. One that you probably shouldn't do in your office chair, I don't know, it depends on your office. If you have a partner that you trust and love, and your relationship is at a point of it, go make love. Again, this is an aerobic activity. It's getting out the adrenaline. It's working off that burst of energy. And if you're doing it right, it's putting you in a space where you are calm and relaxed and able to just change your state of mind. Tell you the truth, this is actually my favorite way of grounding myself, but I'm single right now, so I don't get to do it nearly as often as I would like. Oh well. And my final tip is recognize that you need to live in the moment. Anxious behavior is generally caused by one of two things. You're either thinking ahead. What could go wrong? What's going to go wrong? How is this going to backfire on me? What am I doing to mess up? Or you're thinking behind. I did this. I can't believe I did this. I am such an idiot for doing this. How could I have done this? So when you start in those roads, focus on the now, the moment you are currently in. Don't think ahead. Don't think behind. It doesn't matter what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. Stay in the now. What is the temperature? What do you smell? Focus on senses outside of you, so you're not focusing on your racing thoughts and your heartbeat. So those are 5 more tips for dealing with anxiety. If you are at a point where you really need someone to talk to about this, I do offer a package for this. So if you hop over to marnarenee.com, my contact information is there. You can get in touch with me, and we will work out a way for me to be your on-call buddy to help talk you through your anxious moments. I have a very limited number of spots available for that, but they are there. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me. Keep an eye out for the video that I'm going to do on, I know, I'm so organized. Keep an eye out for the video I'm about to do on observing your thoughts and how to observe your thoughts instead of being caught up in them, okay? All right, you guys have a beautiful day.